Yes. Good morning to all. Today we will discuss about difference between heat engine and heat. It's a basic difference. And second, perpetual motion machine of second kind. We already know perpetual motion machine means it's a violation of thermodynamic laws. The machine which is violating thermodynamic laws means second kind means it's a violation of second law of thermodynamics. You can see. First, we'll discuss about differences. First difference, anytime if anyone asks difference means I represent schematically the difference. Here, heat is flowing from high temperature to low temperature because of temperature difference. Then we are placing one heat engine. Part of heat is converted as a work, remaining heat rejected to the seal. This is the representation. Coming to the heat pump, while heat want to flow low temperature to high temperature, you want to use any one type of pump and supply some energy to the pump. It is capable to transfer the heat from low temperature to high temperature. So schematic view representation first important. And second difference, it is the energy I already mentioned in this explanation itself. It is a energy conversion device. Energy conversion device, heat engine. Coming to the heat pump, energy transfer device, not conversion. It is a transferring energy. And third, it is based on the heat engine based on the Kelvin Planck statement. Heat pump is based on the Clausius statement. And coming to the thermal efficiency of the heat engine. Thermal efficiency means part of heat. How much part of heat is converted as a work, that is called thermal efficiency. According to Kelvin Planck statement, we cannot construct a single reservoir heat engine, so some loss will take place. So thermal efficiency always less than 100 only, not 100, less than 100 only. And thermal efficiency is part how much part of heat will convert as a work to the supply of the heat. Okay, this is the equation. Coming to the heat pump. In heat pump, we are measuring COP because how much cooling effect or how much heating effect we produced by transfer of the heat from low temperature to high temperature. For that, how much work is supplied means desired effect by required desired effect by required input. Here COP of refrigeration means QH by QH minus QL and COP of heat pump equal to QH by QH minus QL or COP of heat pump equal to COP of refrigeration plus 1. Here you can see is we are getting above 100. I already mentioned energy transfer devices will get more than 100. One example I will give for recalling. As a day-to-day life example, you may get a clear idea about energy transfer and energy conversion. Suppose in big railway stations, 10 to 15 people are coming with big luggage bags. And once they reach the station, they will call one puller, railway puller. And these 10 bags they will give to single railway puller. They will give one station platform number 6 or 7 or 8 like. Then what railway puller is doing? He is not taking all 10 bags on his head and is not moving. Then he can't. Only one or two bags only he can lift. What he is doing? He is taking one trolley, one mediator, and he is putting all luggage on the trolley. As a single person, 10 persons luggage simply is transferring by pulling the trolley from platform 1 to platform 5 or 6. He want to lift, convert the energy, then it is not possible. But what he is doing is just transferring the load from one platform to another platform by puller. 10% load. So COP of the person means 10, 100 percentage, 1000 percentage. 10% load, one person is lifted. So transfer of energy with a mediator, with less energy input we can transfer. That's why this heat pump COP always above 100% watt. With less energy input, by a device that is the heat pump, we can transfer the heat from low temperature to high temperature. That's why the efficiency of heat pump we are representing as a COP, because it's a transferring device. Transferring device performance always we are representing by COP only. COP equal to output by input only. Equation is not changing. Output here, desired effect, heating or cooling by work input. I think these are the basic difference. Basic difference, this is energy conversion device. It is a energy transferring device. Next. Next we move to the perpetual motion machine. It's why? Because thermodynamics are first law or second law, it's only statements. Only experimental evidence is developed only Joule's by his experiment in cyclic operation. Summation of all heat interaction equal to summation of all work interactions. Remaining all statements. So statement means automatically opposite research groups are there. They will challenge that statements like that. I already mentioned only one team they challenged statement thermodynamic first law. They can violate the thermodynamic first law. Then same team they are unable to violate. Then they move to the second law. At least we will prove second law without satisfaction of second law. We can construct the heat engine like that. But same team two times failed. So especially we are showing, we are explaining this one. Why? Because in the student groups or engineering groups, common ideas are coming. That is, what is that common idea means? Sir, without input, our engine will run. Like I will place some permanent magnets, my engine will run. Or in electrical vehicle, at the time of vehicle running, I will charge my battery by dynamos. So once initially we charge means next time charging will take place when vehicle is running condition by dynamo. So like this silly thoughts are coming. Means without energy input we can produce output. Now also we are facing. So that's why we are explaining clearly this perpetual motion machine of 1 and 2. Perpetual motion machine means it is a violation of thermodynamic laws. 1 means violation of 1. Perpetual motion machine 2, second kind means it's a violation of second law of thermodynamics. In the first law of thermodynamics, while perpetual motion machine of first kind, they selected Rankine cycle only. Same components: pump, boiler, turbine, condenser and generator. In the turbine we are getting the mechanical energy. Sum of the energy part 1000 times less than energy, means 0.001 percentage of energy we are supplying to the pump. Remaining work is connected to the generator producing the electrical energy. Is a common criteria of any Rankine cycle thermal power plant. Here what they assumed, initially we will supply heat in the boiler from the external source, because heat engine means it has to extract the heat from the external source. Then after reaching the steady state we know the property is not changing with the time. So pump inlet some temperature and pressure is there, pump outlet some temperature pressure is there. Then after it is not changing. So after reaching the steady state, what they assumed, we will stop the supply of the external energy. Whatever the electrical energy generated by the turbine, part of electrical energy we are supplying to the electrical resistor, it will supply heat. So in boiler steam generation by the electrical resistance, where we are getting the energy, whatever the generator is producing electrical energy, part of electrical energy we are supply into the boiler, remaining will go to the grid. This is the proposal of perpetual motion machine of first kind. So in this operation, what is the major flaw? In the cycle you can see there is no energy input. Thermodynamic first law of conservation of energy. Energy neither created nor destroyed. It can change one form to another. Or heat supply equal to work done, or heat supply minus work done equal to change in energy. So without supply of heat we cannot produce the work. So but in this cycle there is no heat input. We are continuously producing work output and heat output. Without input, how we will produce? So it's a violation of first law of thermodynamics. They are unable to prove. Engine is not as a toy we can run without load. But once load is coming to the picture, then there is no running of the engine. Without input, we cannot produce the output. This is the first flaw. Same team realized and they accepted violation of first law of thermodynamics practically not feasible. Then they approached same funding agency, same team only, and they proposed second engine. We can violate the second law of thermodynamics. What second law of thermodynamics says? Construction of single reservoir heat engine practically not possible. So same Rankine cycle power plant only they selected. Here you can see this is a pump, boiler, turbine. They replaced the condenser. They removed condenser, not replaced. But because 60% of the energy loss in the power plant is condenser. So if I am remove the condenser, whatever the heat I am supplying in boiler, total heat we can capable to convert as a work is the assumption. Very good. If without temperature difference, how heat will flow, that is a secondary. So it is also violation of second law of thermodynamics. He constructed engine with a single reservoir. Second, in a practical condition, we can consider, suppose turbine we are expanding steam from boiler pressure to condenser pressure. Condenser is not there, but condenser pressure here. Again, same steam I want to compress from that condenser pressure to boiler pressure. It will take almost same energy. Then where is the output? Because the beauty of Rankine cycle, compression is liquid, so less mechanical energy we are supplying. Out of all cycles, including Carnot cycle, less work input or negligible work input cycle is Rankine cycle. Except Rankine cycle, remaining all cycles, work input is measurable amount of work input is required. But only Rankine cycle, negligible amount of work input is sufficient to run the cycle. There is a beauty compared to Carnot cycle also, because one of the best ideal cycle. That's why last 200 years also all thermal power plants based on the Rankine cycle. The main reason, it is taking low grade energy as a heat source, but high grade energy minimum amount. But by this assumption, whatever the steam I am expanding from the boiler pressure to turbine pressure, same steam again I want to compress the condenser pressure to boiler pressure. Almost same energy requirement is there. Where is the work output? So this proposal also practically not feasible. Why? Because single reservoir heat engine construction is practically not acceptable. So while designing any system, first energy balance is required. First thing. Without input output means just you drop the proposal. Second, directional feasibility. How best? Third one, quality of input. Input energy, more high quality input energy required means that cycle practically not acceptable, commercially not viable. The input always require low grade energy. Output always we have to produce high grade energy. Input itself we are giving more high grade energy means the cycle commercially not viable. So these are the points every time we want to consider. For that reason only every time while we are discussing thermodynamics means we are thoroughly concentrating on perpetual motion machine of first kind and second kind. I think with this I'm ending today's session. Tomorrow we'll discuss about equivalence and reversibility. Thank you.